Hello, I'm investigative reporter Robert Riggs here with former federal prosecutor Bill Johnston, my co-host on the True Crime Reporter podcast. We are the only true crime podcast that we've been inside the yellow crime scene tape.
You know, I haven't listened to every true crime podcast. There's jillions of them. But so many are giggling observers who probably never been quite there. And I think that you and I, having dealt with the criminals themselves, the killers, the terrorists, or whoever it may be, have something from behind the curtain that we can offer. And, while there's interesting things about crime, not much of it's funny. We don't do a lot of giggling.
No. It's serious. And both Bill and I, what we want you to know is that we've come to face with serial killers, mass murderers, terrorists, cult members, serial bank robbers, sexual predators, child molesters, you name it, we've seen it. We've been inside maximum security prisons. I've been in almost every one in Texas. And, down to even the death chamber.
That's right. There's nothing pretty about it.
No.
But that gets you into the sober world of crime. There's something about those institutions, those maximum security institutions, where you realize there is no safe place to keep some of these people, killers and others, except in the most concrete structure someone can find. And it's sad, but that's just the way it is.
And so what you, our listeners, are going to get is that our long career, Bill in law enforcement, me in investigative reporting covering the criminal justice system, you're going to get just the facts, ma'am, from the actual investigators, detectives, ATF agents, U.S. Marshals, prison investigators, FBI, straight from the people that worked the case, straight out of the case files. It's the real thing.
We object to hearsay, as a good lawyer would.
We sure do.
And so hearsay just makes something as someone could read a book and tell you about it. We wanted to bring someone the ink in the book before it was dry. And you're right, we talked to the actual folks involved. Often it was you or me.
Yeah.
But we talked to the folks who were involved, and we try to have them recall things that are not easy to think about. You and I talked to some folks recently who 30 years after working on a murder case were brought to tears because it's troubled them for that long.
And we described this as a journey into darkness. But there's one thing we said this is not giggly, because we have a special sensitivity to the crime victims' families and the victims that are survived. They have been through a hell that you can't even express.
One of the things I'm most proud of was the Victim Advocate Award I received from the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And I say that because ultimately, violent crime, which is almost exclusively what we talk about, it's not about the killer.
Yeah.
It's about the victim or the victim's family at that point. And yes, and we want everyone to understand crime not from the silly fascination that so many have today, but from the steely edge, the ragged wire edge of crime.
And so our segment called True Crime Confidential, that's procedurals. You're going to hear from detectives and just how did they do it, forensics experts, how they solved the case. You're going to hear it from Bill as well. So we want to hear from you. fan@truecrimereporter.com. That's fan@truecrimereporter.com. You got a comment about one of the shows, there's something you want us to cover, please reach out to us. And most of all, if you like us, leave us a review in Apple, but more importantly, recommend us to your friends that love true crime.
Please. I think you'll find it different than anything you've ever heard.
A Journey into Darkness, True Crime Reporter podcast.